So, what day is it today?
Tuesday?
Wrong. It's NWA Day.
They want NWA? Let's give them NWA.
I was thinking that it might be a good idea if you and I formed an alliance.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Attention, everyone. Welcome to the greatest wrestling program in the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
Okay, let's party.
It's the pre-party with J. Cal.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the pre-party with J. Cal. I am very fortunate today to be joined by somebody who's big, somebody who's strong, somebody who's been there since day one for the NWA, and I'm talking about none other than your former TV champion, your former national champion, Big Strong Mims. What is up, sir? How are you today?
How you doing, man? I love that introduction. That is very accurate. I love the history. I love the lore, and I'm happy to be here. How are you doing, man?
I'm good. Can I tell you a crazy story?
Please, please.
So I keep all my photos in Google Photos in the cloud, right? And I'm going through and I'm like, I need to find a photo of Mims because after we do this live interview, I'll later cut it up and then put it up as a podcast, right? I need to find a good photo of Mims. And I went back and my Google Photos pulled a photo from you from the 70th anniversary show. You're wearing a staff shirt. You hadn't made your debut for the NWA yet. And I was like, wait, was that Mims? And I'm looking, the hair was much, much shorter. And I'm like,
yeah,
damn. And I even sent it to somebody, one of my fellow friends who watches the NWA. I said, is this Mims? And they're like, yeah, I think it is. And if you want, I could pull it up for you. I think I have it.
No,
available.
please do. Please do. I don't think I took any photos that night. I took photos of like Cornette and I took photos of like a few of the other guys wrestling, but no photos of me.
Well, so here's the thing. I was taking photos of another content creator that I just met, and you were in the background. And now if this isn't you, I'm going to feel like a total asshole. I'm going to be honest with you. If it's not you, then I'm going to feel like an idiot. But Google said it was you, and another friend confirmed that they thought it was you. So I'm going to try to pull it up here right now.
I mean, I was definitely there. I was definitely there. So
you're like, nah, Jay, that's not me. And then I'll feel like an asshole. How you doing, man? It's good to see you again.
Oh man, I'm doing good, man. If anything, I've been so busy with wrestling lately. It's been making my head spin. I think I've never, like, obviously I've been with NWA for a long time. I've been with NWA since a little bit after my career started. But I never really spent a lot of time on the independents, and being in a new environment, being in a new state, I've had to get my feet wet with the independents. So between the NWA and the independents, brother, it is nothing but wrestling 24/7. It's business meetings every day. It's meeting with this promotion, that promotion, and then whatever I can do to boost up the NWA at all times. So it's constant wrestling. I got wrestle brain, hopefully in the best way possible, but I'm doing fantastic. I'm riding on a high because pro wrestling is cliche, but pro wrestling is my life. So to feel like right now, more than any other time in my life in these almost 8 years, it'll be 8 years on the 15th of July. So to feel like I am truly just living pro wrestling day in and day out, not just when it's taking a trip to NWA and doing something there for all these tapings we have, it's been a fantastic feeling, and honestly something that's just made life even more worth living. It's the happiest I've been in my life so far.
That's, what more could you ask for, right?
That's it.
All right. I'm going to throw up the picture. Now I'm feeling like a little nervous because if it's not you, I'm going to feel really bad, but here it is.
Okay, let's see.
Is that a young Mims to the
left?
That
is what? Let's see. Is that me? I see the staff thing on. That is me. Okay. Yeah, that is me. I thought it was going to be. Yeah, I wasn't next to my cousin, so we were doing security detail at that time. And I think my cousin, Mr. Mark Rowland, he was also behind the scenes there. He was security for Cornette, and I think they had maybe some of the guys from the Four Horsemen there. I can't remember. I was working security mostly for Cody Rhodes at the time. Nice. That day. So I think I was bouncing between Cody and then possibly Road Warrior Animal at that time.
Yeah. No, that was such a crazy, because that was the NWA's first foray back into the pay-per-view. It was the first thing that they did in the Lightning One era that really galvanized this fan base. I mean, all that popularity from All In, the spillover. Now the NWA finally was doing their own thing, and they brought in a lot of superstars. Scorpio Sky was there. Ricky Saints was there. A lot of the guys who are now in AEW were there, and it was this really cool, like, probably the best thing that could have happened to the NWA in that time frame was this anniversary show after All In. It was a really good follow-up. Not that that's what we're talking about today, but just, since we're talking history, I wanted to bring that up.
I always love a deep dive into history. I love a deep dive into lore, especially between me and the NWA. I will add a little bit of something there. So that was actually the first time I ever met and had a conversation with Billy. Wow. I think the only thing I've ever put out on the internet so far has been the fact that, I met Billy at that show, but then I got my first photo with him at a pop-up show we did in 2019 in Clarksville, Tennessee, for Crimson's promotion, a Tried and True Pro Wrestling. That's the first picture you see of me and him together to get the actual proof, like, hey, we actually know each other at this point. That was also the same night at the end of that show, I was asked to be a part of the first episode of Power. I didn't even know Power was going to be a thing. So they had Billy there. They had Dave Lagana there. Dave Lagana asked Tom Latimer, hey, you guys got any guys? Well, we're trying to set everything up for this first show. So that's a little bit of like lore that a lot of people didn't know. These were like secret conversations we had back then. I think at this point, I won't get in too much trouble by telling that story. And then Tom, who was still my training coach at the time, in that advanced course, he was like, hey, yeah, man, you and your best friend, you and Miguel, man, you guys are going to be in that first show. We need you for something. Be ready. I think when September comes, be ready for that. So still like a crazy feeling to know that we went from, the 70th anniversary event, then just like a few months, like a year later, the pop-up event, the crazy matches that happened there, and then going to Power just a few months later. And then, the rest is history. We're still, it's nerd stuff. I'm a nerd about pro wrestling. I'm a nerd about a lot of things, but like a few of those little crazy conversations, if nobody's ever heard those before, I've never put those stories out on podcasts, but those are definitely things that happened that were major points that seemed really small, but we get to this bigger picture and it all starts to make sense.
I mean, first and foremost, thank you for sharing that with us, because obviously this is an NWA. Like, we are very aggressively pro NWA here, so much so that the people on Discord kind of get upset because we're like, no, you need to. First of all, the stars of the National Wrestling Alliance are top notch all across the board. I have only good things to say about this roster. It is deep. There's many talented individuals on there, yourself included. Again, you're a former national champion, you're a former television champion, and not to put anything into your ear, but didn't Silas Mason just a few months ago tell you that when he won the NWA World Title that he would give you a shot? I mean, when are we going to get Mims versus Silas Mason? I mean, that's key. That's TV. That's canon. It's not me making stuff up here.
See, that's $1 million question, and I would also like to know the answer. But if anything, hey, I like to be a person that focuses on the now, right here, right now, and right here, right now. What am I doing? I am partnered up with somebody I have a lot of history with, somebody a lot of people know. He's a legend in this business. Been in this business over 20 plus years. One of the best to ever do it. Somebody I watched growing up, somebody I've learned plenty of lessons from, and I try to be like this man inside and outside of the ring. The Pope Elijah Burke. If anything, we are here right now in our tag team. They're finally letting us have what we didn't get to have before, because 2022, that Crockett Cup in Nashville, Tennessee, we got to be in one round. We never got to be a tag team again. They didn't put us together because we might be too powerful. Right now, we are a tag team. We're going through our bumps and bruises. We're getting the thing together, but then we find the point where we're going to gel. This is a tag team to be reckoned with. You've already said my accolades. I would spend the rest of the day, the rest of this hour, the rest of next week talking about his accolades and what he's done in this business. So that's where I like to focus at. But again, Silas, he's in the future. This is somebody we haven't got to touch more than once. There's one time that you have where there's any video proof we've ever been in the ring at the same time, sharing the ring together in an actual match, one-on-one match. And a lot of people, if they haven't really been in the trenches, really watching close with NWA stuff in a certain reality show, certain carny reality show, they would not know about that match. So, hey, Maybe finding our way back to that again would be fantastic. But again, I'm right here. It's with me and Pope. We're going after gold. We're going after whatever we possibly can as a tag team to prove that this was a mistake in 2022 that they didn't let us come together. That's what this is about. But
Was
again,
it a mistake or was it a planned, hey, if we derail this tag team, then we can put in whoever we want as tag team champions. I mean, I was there. I was in Nashville. I was there. I saw the doomsday device that was you and Pope, hitting that move in that ring during the Crockett Cup. You guys looked really good as a tag team. And, yeah, I know that at one point there might have been some mentorship. You were looking up to him. I feel like now, with both of you in the NWA, you've both had that run with the TV title. I'll say this, and you said you'll speak for Pope's accolades, and I just want to say this. I don't think, and this isn't not an attack on you by any stretch, but the Pope's run as TV champion was the blueprint to me of what that TV championship should look like. He was on TV every week. He was either defending the title or he was in commentary talking about his next challenger. And his run as TV champion to me was one of the best things that the NWA did post-COVID. I mean, that guy was phenomenal. And I love the Pope. I wanted to see him and Nick Aldis tear it up for that 10 pounds of gold. Obviously, that not in the cards anymore. But certainly you two as a tag team, holy crap. We've just scratched the surface. We just barely got into it.
Absolutely. I think even my run as a TV champion or whatnot, still just scratching the surface. To my mention in the chat earlier, my match with Dak Draper and the fact that wasn't even over with, and there's even more we can bite off and we can chew with that. And we bit off just a little scrap, just a little piece about that, right? But even to go back to Pope, so I have a few of like my absolute favorite matches from the NWA with the Lightning One era, right? And one of my favorite matches was actually during that television title run whenever Pope faced Tom Latimer. That was an instant classic. It's one of the best matches we've ever held on Power, and that's a high bar you have to go with because the wrestling here is bar none some of the best wrestling you can find anywhere on the planet. Anywhere in general, right? And I can put some of these matches up against some classic matches of the NWA pre the Lightning One era, right? But even with that run, with his run, with my run, that I will admit pales in comparison. Hey, it wasn't as long. I wasn't on TV every week defending the belt, but I was doing my thing as Big Strong TV. It was my first championship in general. You got to give me that. Give me a little bit of a handicap. Going up against the Pope. Come on, man.
I mean, I'm right here tipping the hat to you, sir, because
thank you.
After that TV title run, it probably didn't go the way that you were hoping for. It didn't go the way I was hoping for you because, again, anyone who's watched this podcast knows that I've always been a Big Strong Mims fan. I was there for day one when you were at the first inaugural TV tapings. I was there. I saw you. I knew who you were. I was like, all right, let's see what this guy can do. And you grew. You built your credibility with the NWA. You weren't somebody that they brought in. You weren't somebody who was established outside. You literally were one of these handmade NWA guys. And that's something that you and Silas Mason share, something you guys have in common, is that, yeah, you might have wrestled other places, but let's be frank, you made your bones in the NWA. That's where the fans have grown up accustomed to you. And that TV title run didn't go as planned, in my opinion, but you did really well with the national title. I was there when you won that too. I was there when you won the national title, and seeing you win that championship, I mean, I would have rathered you had a different set of circumstances leading into that match, but all the same, you took that title and you ran with it, and you had a good run with that belt. And I'm not saying it, I don't want to say it was short. I don't think it was short, but I still think there was a lot of opportunity for you to do things as champion, as that national champion.
Oh yeah, and if anything, I never look back on any run and get disappointed. One, I'm happy to even be there in the first place. I know it's cliche, but the thing is, a lot of people don't win anything in professional wrestling, and I've done it twice. I've been a part of the NWA since day one. I've been able to be a contracted star with the NWA and make a living off of what I do and what art I perform in the ring, and I've made lots of great relationships. So that's something I'm always going to look back on fondly. When it comes to the national championship reign, I've probably talked about this a few times here and there, but this was a championship that really made me feel like a champion, right? With the TV title, There was a lot of newness to it. There was a newness to me holding the belt, a little bit of imposter syndrome in my head because I've got to live up to guys like an Elijah Burke, like a Tom Latimer, like a Tyrus. I have to look up to those guys, a Ricky Saints, a Zicky Dice. I have to look up to those guys and say, hey, can I be a TV champion like they were a TV champion? What does it even mean to be a champion? Because these are all guys who've been champions somewhere else and done something somewhere else all over the world, or at least in this business well before I have. So my first time having that run, having that chance at that title, I'm not surprised that it may have not been one of the top 5 NWA World Television Championships runs in the Lightning One era. No, but if anything, I'd like to say that at least my national championship run, where I really got comfortable, I really got to spread my wings, I really got to swing that thing around, if you know what I mean, with that belt, with that championship for that year that I was holding it. Even though some people like to say it was only 350 days, whatever, it was a year for me, well over a year. But hey, with that, I really got to feel what it's like to step into the light of a champion and be a champion, right? I feel like that was the thing, that was the run, that was the time that got to make me feel like, hey, if I'm ever going to get the chance to be a world champion, if I'm ever going to get the chance to go to that higher level, hit that extra gear, I'm going to find it out while I have this belt, while I have this championship, while I'm seen with this responsibility. This is going to be the thing that lets people know, lets me know, hey, I not only belong, but I can get real comfy here. I can get real comfortable with where I'm at and how I feel. And I was comfortable for that time. In and out of that ring, I was comfortable. This belt felt like it was a part of me. It didn't just feel like some sort of prop I'm putting over my shoulder or putting around my waist. No, this felt like it identified who Big Strong Mims was, who Big Strong Mims is as a person at that time in my career. And if anything, hey, you already talked about Silas before. I'm looking forward to that world championship run. But I got business to attend to right now. We got business to attend to right now. This tag team is what's important to me. Tag team wrestling, I'll let you know this. When I came to professional wrestling, tag team wrestling was still the most important thing to me. That was something that had a major impact on me whenever I was watching. I wanted to do this with my best friend, who got to have a little bit of shine on NWA television, but it just wasn't in the cards for him. So this has a special place in my heart with a person who has a special place in my heart. And yeah, we had our differences, but right now, this is where we make this happen. This is where the real childhood dreams kind of come up, So that's why this is the most important. But again, that world title thing, I know I'm ready for it. I know I can handle this.
I know we're living in the now. I know we're living in the now.
Absolutely.
But how do you let go of the fact that the Pope had a hand in you losing that national title? I mean, is this one of those things where you just accept that he's helping to rebuild you to make you stronger? Or did you just take that, that pill and have to swallow it? I mean, how did you get past that? Because I mean, that if I was wrestling, if I was in your situation, I'd be kind of ticked off still. And I don't know if I want to team with the guy that cost me my national championship.
So this is the thing. So you saw the match that we had together where it was me getting my revenge on him, beating him very squarely in that ring, making for sure that I made an emphatic statement that, hey, when I said you weren't on my level, I meant that. When we come into the ring together, I'm going to show you that I'm not the same person that you thought I was, that I've been able to pull out something that you've never been able to pull out before in that NWA National Championship. I got to roll with it for a year. I got to be dominant for a year. Nobody was pinning me. Nobody was making me submit. If there was any matches where there was a loss mentioned, it wasn't me taking the loss. That's not how that worked, right? Yeah. I wanted to show him that I had moved on from where I was before. There is no looking at me as somebody just to be mentored. I'm either on your level or I'm above it. I'm going to prove that to you. And in that match, that's exactly what I got to do. Now let's take that back. Let's go back again. We can go to the next bit of shenanigans that we saw after that. Pope takes a break. Pope comes back a few weeks later, and he helps me out with my little scuffle with El Dragon Neon. Because he got a fluke win. That's how it was. I mean, hey, it happens. Everybody wants to make a name off a champion. Everybody wants to make a name off of Big Strong Mims whenever it comes to building themselves up to be bigger and stronger. I get it. I know who I am. I know what I do. I know what I bring to the table. I get that, right? And he comes and he helps me out where I needed a little bit of help, right? I would argue I didn't need the help, but you know what? I'm going to take it if he's going to give it.
Yeah,
conversations.
I mean,
conversations.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, when the opportunity is there, you take it, of course.
Exactly. Hey, a win's a win. What do they say all the time? A win's a win. We take those. That's what we say, right?
There are
It's a
no-
few conversations. It's a
there are
few
no-
promises in the back. It's a few roadmaps that I get to see. It's talking with people in the back to find out what the plan may be, where Pope has his head at, and getting a little bit of understanding from the people that I can talk to, that I can rely on, asking them, hey, do you think I can trust this person? Hey, do you think this is all they had up their sleeves? Do you think that this is exactly where he wants to go with this? That this is now a thing of respect? It's something where he had to test my mettle, and I think I tried to understand it, right? You go away for a little while. You have this certain perspective that you want to keep when you come back in, when you come back to what you left off in, and you think you can start right back over there. And that's what I told him in that promo. That was the idea that I had when I had that conversation with him in front of everybody in the NWA, when I was saying, hey, this isn't the same place that you left. You can't just come back and pick up like you did before. You can have that same perspective, but I'm here to tell you that needs to change. And you don't need to look at me and think that you can have that same perspective. This is a playground. There's kids walking around here. No, they're adults. You were standing in the room with another adult. You were standing in a room with somebody else who's looking at you eye to eye, face to face, standing at the same height as you, and is telling you, hey, this is not going to be a cakewalk. I'm not going to be your cakewalk. I'm not going to be the person that's going to lay down for you like I may have done before. I lay down for no man. That's not how this works. You either lay down for me or you get down. That's how that worked, right?
Get down or get put down, right?
Absolutely. So from that sense, he needed to test my mettle. I get it. You're not going to believe that when somebody tells you that. Whenever you see your little brother's grown up. He's a little big brother now. You think that's going to be the same way that's always been before? You might just see it. You might just see it that way. And what that match was, where I beat him in that ring, was letting him know the perspective needs to match reality. Reality is, worst case scenario, we're equals. And you need to move forward like that. This was a thing of respect. This is how this works now. This is mutual respect between the two of us. I can let my anger go. I can let the national championship go. I can say, hey, am I going to sit here and be mad about spoiled grapes, spilled milk, toothpaste out the tube that I can't put back in? Or am I going to pick myself up, see where the future goes with this? And I know who I am. I believe in Big Strong Mims. I'm a big, strong person at heart. That's why I'm Big Strong Mims. I know that the national championship, if I want it back, I'll take it back. The television championship, if I want it back, I'll take it. The NWA World Heavyweight Championship, if I want that, I'll get that. But there's priorities. There's priorities in pro wrestling. I just have a different priority.
Let's backtrack a little bit, because you said something, and me as a fan of pro wrestling, I've always loved tag team wrestling. When I was a kid, it was the U.S. Express. It was Barry Windham and Mike Rotundo, right? As I got older, it was the Road Warriors, Legion of Doom, or I was a big fan of Strike Force, believe it or not, Tito Santana and Rick Martel, the Hart Foundation, the Steiner Brothers, the short-lived Brett and Owen tag team. Who are the British Bulldogs? I don't want to leave those guys out.
Oh, absolutely.
Who were your guys? Who did you watch growing up as a tag team? And was there a particular team that made you want to emulate them or be a part of that tag team wrestling?
Yes. So there's a few tag teams that I watched. There's tag teams that I could say that I watched whenever I was growing up, watching as a fan. There's also tag teams that I went back and I wanted to study. Right. So whenever it comes to tag teams that I watched as a fan, I was watching the APA. I even have my gear that gives a little bit of a nod to them. I love Ron Simmons. I love JBL. They were big influences. I even took some of their moves, put it in my move set just so I could take what legacy they left and move it forward. I loved Edge and Christian growing up. I love seeing them as a tag team. I absolutely loved the Hardy Boys. Who didn't? Everybody did at the time. I love the world's greatest tag team. I love Los Guerreros. I was a kid who watched a lot of Ruthless Aggression era, so of course I love that. I even let me be a brown noser for a second, because I'm still singing the praises of my tag team partner. Seeing Elijah Burke and Sylvester Takai was also good. ECW, yes. No, I know ball. Don't let anybody tell you I don't know ball here, right? So seeing those tag teams, including Elijah and Sylvester, that's something that made me believe in tag team wrestling. When I could see tag team wrestling in the main event and nobody's sitting around saying, hey, well, what is this? What's going on here? No, it just feels right. It's just what's going to happen. When I go back and I study professional wrestling as a professional wrestler where I'm trained, and I'm learning, hey, this is where I need to learn those intricacies that really, really, really matter that make tag team wrestling so great. I'm still looking back at the APA. I'm still looking at the other tag teams that I named off, but I'm also looking at, let's say, even the Killer Bees, the Hart Foundation, and I'm looking even further at other tag teams that weren't exactly the most conventional tag teams that people go back and this is the greatest tag team ever, right? I'm looking at Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. Why were these guys as big men seen as such a great tag team, seen as such a dominant force with just the two of them, right? Even the Brothers of Destruction. You know, I'm not the biggest guy in the world, but I still like to understand how are these big guys going to wrestle? Because at some point, I'm going to face somebody bigger than me. I need to understand their strategies, how they work, how they manipulate the people that are just a bit smaller than them or just a lot smaller than them. Hey, I'm going to pull the curtain back. I'm 5'11" and a half on a good day. In those boots, I'm 6'1". I'm always going to tell you the truth. I'm always going to be real about it. Them boys over there, it's the land of the giants for a reason, right? If I'm facing somebody who's 6'10", I'm facing somebody who's 6'9", 6'8", 6'7", 6, whatever it may be, I got to know how to work. I got to know how to wrestle. I got to know how to make for sure that these guys are going to be down for the count. So, of course, I'm going to study the biggest and baddest guys around. And then also, hey, well, I'll pull in the British Bulldogs, too, because they're just some of my favorites, and I've loved a lot of their matches. I was trying not to name any tag teams you named off already, but I will pull in the British Bulldogs because it is hard to go through any type of tape study and not find them, not pull them out, and say, hey, this is what it's like to be an aggressive tag team, in a dominant tag team.
What did you think about the underutilized tag team in the WWE Crime Time? JTG spent a cup of coffee here in the NWA, and unfortunately, Shad Gaspard passed away a few years ago. Very heroically, by the way. But what did you think of them as a tag team?
As a tag team, I always thought they were a great dynamic. I like it's surprising. This is something more as like a personal thing, I guess. After meeting JTG, I never got to meet Shad Gaspard, unfortunately. I didn't get the pleasure. But it was so crazy to me that watching them growing up and loving the tag team, they were extremely entertaining. They were very dominant in the ring. But I was like, man, how is it like like almost like a Shawn Michael and Diesel thing going on here with like JTG and Shad Gaspard? Once I finally met JTG, he's not a small guy. He's not.
That's how big Shad was.
And I was just like, I was thinking to myself, after I met JTG and we had a match together or whatnot that didn't exactly work out in my favor, but we ain't gonna talk about that. I was like, man, if we're around a similar size, I'm a bit bigger than him. Man, Shad Gaspard must be a monster. How did we? I understand how they broke up and Shad went on his own and he was destroying everybody left and right. I kind of get it. This he had to be a scary monster of man, but absolutely a hero. You know, it's that tag team. And them holding tag team titles meant a lot to me because, you know, hey, I'm the last person to pull the card, but I look like this, right?
Sure.
You're not always going to see a lot of guys that look like this winning some gold somewhere. And then to see people that they got to come together and in that ring every single moment you saw them have fun. This is before we get to a New Day where it's guys in there, they may be playing towards this, playing towards that. They're beating the crap out of people in that ring, right? But they're having fun with it every step of the way. You know, I'm watching JTG, I'm watching Shad, and it looks like two best friends are getting to have the time of their life in that ring together. And that's kind of what I want. That's what I wanted from me and my best friend. That's what I want from any tag team that I'm a part of. And I mean, I saw the comment somebody made where it said, hey, man, Mims has been like the most tag team wrestler of all tag team time in the NWA. He's been in multiple tag teams. You know, hey, I wish I had something. This is the closest I've been to having something that fits like a Crime Time, like a JTG and a Shad Gaspard. This is the closest thing that I get to that. So, you know, even more so, I'm going to take my time. I'm going to savor this. I'm going to enjoy what I have while I have it because, hey, I'm wrestling with like a partner that was one of my heroes in pro wrestling, somebody I look up to, and somebody that like I've learned so much from. I'm still learning from the man right now. Let's pull back that curtain. I'm still learning from the man right now. You know?
Yeah, yeah. Producer to the stars, Poil Del Mar, fed me this question, but I'm gonna ask it like I was setting it up anyways, because we did mention Crime Tide and Shad Gaspard, but with the Love Alive charity, which is the organization that your tag team partner, the Pope, actually runs, they do their wrestling event in which you won the Shad Gaspard Memorial Tournament, the Beast Memorial Tournament. I want to make sure we get that right. So not only are you Big Strong Mims, but you're also the Beast going into this. What did that mean for you to, again, this is a guy that you watched on TV and you know what he meant to the wrestling community. You know what he meant to people of color, people like you just said, there are not a lot of guys like you out there. He was somebody that, I feel like he got his flowers after he passed, but he was a very virtuous person, man. And I mean, he gave his life for his son's life, I think, which is beautiful. I mean, it's tragic, but it's beautiful. And you won a tournament that honored him, that celebrated him, and you were able to win that tournament. Tell me about that. What'd that mean to you?
So I've been able to talk about what it's meant to me, and I think one aspect of it that I didn't really get to talk about. We're gonna get a little bit introspective when it comes to me. At certain points in my career, I've had a little bit of imposter syndrome, wondering, hey, do I deserve this? Am I in the right place for this? And I kind of felt that after winning the Beast Cup, it made me feel like things that I want to do in my pro wrestling career. I want to be able to relieve people around me of struggle. I want to lessen the struggle of the people around me. I want to be that kind of hero, right? It's not just Shad Gaspard wasn't just a hero in how he sacrificed himself to save somebody else, especially save somebody else that he was close to. This is somebody who would give the shirt off his back to other people easily, right? This is what I'm getting. I'm learning through other people who have seen him, who have met him, who have known him, and trying to emulate him, trying to emulate Elijah in that sense. I don't think I've reached that point in my career yet where I've had that kind of impact, right? Not that I know. And I want to be able to have that same kind of impact. And I'm wondering, even though I've won this tournament that's in his name, I have the aspirations to be somebody that can have the same impact he can have, not only on myself, but on other people that he's touched with his wrestling career and outside of the ring. That not being at that point, do I deserve to have this accolade now? Is this something I won too early? Or is this just a precursor to what I aim to be? Or the kind of person that I want to be in the future, the person that deserves the title of a hero. I am not somebody yet who has earned that title of being a hero. I'm not that person that I don't feel like I have truly earned to be in that same conversation just yet. Right. And I think that's important. It's not a negative thing for me.
Sure.
Right. I'd like to think it's a reminder of, hey, what is your goal? What is your destination? What do you want to do with this? Right. It's never been professional wrestling is never going to be about money. It's not going to be about my own selfish glory. It's going to be about how I can help others, how I can reach other people. If anything, it's going to be, I've talked about this a million times in different podcast interviews about, the moment I thought I wanted to do pro wrestling, right? Where pro wrestling had an impact on me, made me feel something, gave me an emotional spark that I could not shake. I couldn't get that feeling out of me. I couldn't get those goosebumps away from me. And it changed the course of my life, right? Even that small thing, to have that kind of positive impact on somebody that makes somebody think I have a greater purpose. I have something I can be doing here, or this is my avenue. This is where potential can go. To have that impact is just one of the many lofty goals I have with this. And I think I haven't got to that point yet. But I'd like to say the positive about it is still, this is a reminder. This is what you're working for. This is what you're trying to do. This is how it can expand. You can be somebody who not only gives to a charity that Elijah has going, that is something from the bottom of his heart, something that he wants to do. You can create your own. You can continue to help with his and make for sure his grows as much as possible. You can grow your own charity. You can continue to impact people in your own community and spread that out further through what you do in professional wrestling. It's not just sharing my art. It's not just sharing my art, my heart, my soul, my money, whatever thing I can give from myself to make others better. It's it's about embodying the people that I've had come before me and paying them back in some sort of way. I feel like this is a small amount of that payment to Shad Gaspard and the legacy they left behind, but I still have a lot more to pay, right? So this it's like that TV title that gave me that imposter syndrome, but something totally different because it's something even bigger than that, right? Titles are important, wins are important. But what I'm trying to do with professional wrestling, what Shad Gaspard meant to professional wrestling, what Elijah Burke means to professional wrestling, in the people of Jacksonville and everybody else around the planet he tries to reach out to and touch and make a bigger impact in, like, that's what I want to pay back. That's what this is all about. So I like, not to stray away from the pro wrestling, but that's kind of what this all meant to me after I've had a lot more time to think about it.
I'm over here rubbing my arms because, damn it, man, you gave me the goosebumps. Because again, like, and I think you and I are very like-minded when it comes to this. Like, we want to serve a bigger purpose than what just this, right? Like, just what you're doing right now is great, and you're entertaining people, and that's awesome. And but there's that more that you want to do. That's the more that you want to bring to the table. That you're efforting to be the man that you want to be. And I think that, again, I use this term a lot. But that's beautiful, man. That's so, like, to me, like, the spirit of wanting to give back is such a great thing, and not enough people do that these days, right? So when someone says, "Hey, yeah, you know, I am where I'm at, but I would like to be here, because when I get here, I can do more. And when I get here, I can do more." And that to me is a very beautiful sentiment. And yeah, God bless you. Cheers. I love that so much. And like I said, I literally have goosebumps here in my little podcast studio talking to you about pro wrestling. But that's great, dude. And I'm pumped up for that. That's part of the reason why I cheer you or boo you, whether the fans like you or dislike you, because as a human being, I think you're a good guy. You're a great guy. And I don't care if you hit that guy with the chair in the ring. I don't care. Like, you're a good dude, man. Let's talk about Power, right? Because of course, Power is over the air. You can watch it now, Comet TV. You can go to the website. They list in any market you're in. They will tell you where you can find it. If you can't watch it on a TV, you can literally watch a replay a day or two later on the Comet TV website, which I think that's so awesome, because I was scared because I'm not always home on a Saturday, right? I can't always tune in on a 4 p.m. on a Saturday. I'm a family man. I got kids. They got to go do stuff. I'm not always in front of the TV, but I literally watched Power this week on my cell phone while at the grocery store waiting for my wife to get milk, right? It was perfect. And, you know, so you can watch Power anywhere in the world. And for me out here on the West Coast, it airs at 4 p.m. And, you know, on the East Coast, it airs at 4 p.m.
Yeah.
How is it for you? You know, like, for years, you've been a part of the NWA. And you could tell people, hey, you can watch me here. You can watch me here. You can watch me here. But now it's like anyone with the TV, there's no excuse. Hey, mom, dad, you want to watch me wrestle? Here, turn on this channel at this time. Hey, you know, cousin, you want to see me wrestle? This channel this time. Hey, bully that used to pick on me in the elementary school, I'm wrestling on TV, this channel this time. How cool is that?
Oh, it's absolutely the coolest. Like, you've seen us go from home to home to home, and it's always important. And I respect and love that we've had so many different homes and so many different ways to watch different experiences for these fans. And if anything, it means even more that we've had fans that have come and been dedicated, following us anywhere that we've been, right? I can think back to me as a kid watching anything when it came to pro wrestling that I absolutely love, whatever promotion it may be. I'm following wherever they're at, right? Anytime they're coming on, I'm making for sure they're there. I'm dedicated to the product. And I think that same thing kind of goes with our strong fans in the NWA. These are big, strong people, right? You're a big, strong man. Like, that's exactly how that's happening, because of the fact that you're dedicated to this product. You are going to make for sure that you're watching whatever home that we have. If anything, I'm even happier now that my friends across the pond, my friends internationally, can have a way to check out our program whenever at a certain point they had to go through so many more steps to do that. And I love them just because of the fact that even whenever they didn't have access to us on our last home, they were doing whatever they possibly could to make for sure they were able to tune in. They were keeping up with the product. They were making for sure they knew what their favorite stars were doing, and they could boo and cheer along with any events they might have come to when it comes to live events. And they make the trip all the way over to the US just to come and see us. And making it a bit easier on them is something we've all wanted to do for a very long time, right? And with this new home with Comet, I'm very excited because I'm always excited about new opportunities to boost the NWA, to boost what we're doing here because we're doing something important. I've believed in the product since day one, and I still believe in the product, right? So it makes me happy that we have a place where there is no excuse. There's no way you can miss this, right? It's not just 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on a Saturday. The replays, I think, if I remember correctly, they're at 11 p.m. also. And then again, you've got a phone, you've got a smart device, you got anything that can connect to the internet. You can go and watch Comet right now. If you want to catch up, you can do that. There's no excuse, and I love that. Dude, if I want to tell you, hey, I got this match coming up, let's say, I don't know, this Saturday, Mims versus Carnage with Pope in my corner. If I want to say, hey, go watch that, you know exactly where to go. You know exactly when to be there. And if you just happen not to make it because, like you said, you're a family man, people, there's big, strong families out here everywhere, right?
Yeah.
No excuse. You'll still find a way to see the greatest match on this episode of Power, which is the one with me in it. Every time. I steal the show. That's how it works, man. That's how it works.
And for a minute, let's look at Power, because this week you are in a matchup against Carnage. And he's a former tag team champion. And when Carnage and Damage were running around with Aaron Stevens, they were a very dominant tag team, and they held onto those belts. Your goal now is to be a tag team champion with the Pope. Is that why we're targeting Carnage? Is that why we're going after him? Is because he's been there, and you need to beat the former champions to get to that to the country gentlemen, to get to those tag team championships? Or how does this, like, why Carnage? Why is he the guy that's getting targeted?
Now, see, I see that as a way for Pope to continue to build me up and get me back to my winning ways, because he wants me to be able to go and dominate, destroy, dismantle somebody who's already been there, right? You can't, Ric Flair always said, to be the man, you got to beat the man, right? I think if you want to learn how to get anywhere, you got to ask somebody who's been there, right? I'm not going to ask somebody if I'm trying to get to New Jersey. I'm not going to ask somebody who's never went higher than the Mason Dixon line, who have never left Florida. Why would I ask that man? He don't know nothing about New Jersey. But if I want to get myself to New Jersey, I'm gonna ask somebody who's been there. I'm gonna go ask somebody who's been around that place before, right? And Carnage is the man to do that, right? Right? He's the guy to go to say, hey, I want to know what it's like to be a tag team champion. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna beat the crap out of a tag team champion. And I'm going to do exactly what you've done. I can do that on my own. I can do that with my partner. I can do that with any partner that you have. Tag team gold is in my future. That's all that matters. And this is just a test to prove that again. This is the thing, right? Right. I've always been a good test taker since day one. Since I hopped in school, since I hopped out of college, I've always been a great test taker. And in the NWA, I've been the most tested man. You guys tell me that I've been in the most tag teams. Oh, I've been everywhere. It doesn't matter. I've been the most tested man. Every single time I've been tested, I come out on the other side A plus times a million. Mims don't fail tests. Mims won't fail this test. Mims will show you. That's me. I'm Mims. I'm going to show you that not only have I been a singles champion 2 times over, but I can be a tag team champion. And the only choice that matters in that, the only person who decides if I become a tag team champion, it's not Pope. It's not Pope. I respect the man. I love the man. It's not his choice. Carnage. He's done a lot in this business. He's done a lot to be a world tag team champion, and he has a very great record as a tag team champion. It ain't his choice. At the end of the day, it's up to who is always up to, and that's me. It's my choice. When I pass this test again, just be ready for a great match, man. Just be ready to see how I pass that test with flying colors. And you already know what's coming. I hate to spoil the show. I hate to spoil the story. This is where it goes. This is just where it goes. I passed the test. And I know where it's going. It hasn't even happened yet. I know the country gentlemen. I've known the Kazana boys for a very long time. They're only going to hold on to him until I decide. Let me get those. Let me grab those little titles from you. Let me go ahead and take those off your hands, big dog. Yeah. It is a tagline and a t-shirt. Thank you. Somebody's got some sense. Put it on a shirt.
Matt does a great job with coming up with t-shirt slogans. you know, you said Big Strong Mims, but you sound like Big Smart Mims too. You're using that brain that you got. No test failed. I love it. And that match is taking place, of course, this Saturday on Power as we march on to June 6th in Atlanta, Georgia, the hallowed grounds of, you know, I almost said Jim Crockett I almost called it Joe Kazana Promotions. Jim Crockett Promotions in WCW. You're going to go to Center Stage, which has been home to an NWA event in the past. Amazing venue. I love that building for pro wrestling and what the history of that stands there. You're going to get to be a part of that coming up on June 6th. I don't believe they've announced your matchup yet, but tell me what you think, what you're going into. Hard Times, Daddy. What are we talking about?
I'm going into Hard Times. What is it? Hard Times 6 at this point? We've been Hard Times in it for a while. Oh yes, yes, absolutely.
It's been hard, man. It's been real hard.
Oh, it's been hard. But this is the thing. Hard times make harder men. Hard times make good men. They make better men. And I'm a better man. I've been through hard times at least 5 times at this point. I know all about hard times. This is the thing. I don't even know who I'm wrestling. I don't need to know what I'm doing. I know that I excel. I have faith in me. That's what makes me Big Strong Mims. It's not just the big heart and the strong mind. That's where that comes from. People think it's just this. Brother, it is plenty of this, but it's the big heart right here. Like you said, I'm a great man inside and outside the ring, and this thing keeps on pumping for everybody in the NWA and everybody in professional wrestling. Again, strong mind, strong constitution, absolute confidence. I believe in me. I have faith in me that this is going to guide me to where I need to go, and this is going to keep on pumping to make for sure I never fail at any test that I have set in front of me. So again, I don't need to know, because I already know. I don't fail tests. I won't fail you. And I'll never fail myself. It's Big Strong Mims. They can advertise the match when they want to. You know the conclusion. You know how it goes.
And, you know, I'm not going to be there on June 6th. Unfortunately, I'm going to be in Aruba. I'm going to be on a beach drinking Mai Tais and having a good time. But
yeah,
your boy Jay will be in Philly. The fight is booked. I'm going to be there in Philly. So, you know, the 2300 Arena has been kind to you over the years. Of course, you won the national championship there. You know, the NWA, that's the next stop on the Signature Live Event Series. We're heading to Philly for the 78th anniversary show. 78 years of the National Wrestling Alliance.
78 years.
8 years of, you know, Mims being the man. What can you tell me about the 2300 Arena and the 78th anniversary show?
What it means to me and what I can tell you is that it just means another year of great history. We're kind of coinciding here, which is fantastic, and I like that because I didn't even think about that part. 78 years. I've been doing it for about 8 years or whatnot. We're having those things pieced together, and it sounds like destiny. That's what I think is going to happen here. There's some sort of thing I'm destined for this show. I've been told to be ready. I've been told to get your stuff packed, get your gear ready for it. You got to make it through Center Stage first. You got to make it through June 6th first. They have faith in me. Like I have faith in myself, right? I know I'm going to Philly. I know what's going to happen in Philly. It's the same thing I told you is going to happen at Center Stage. It's the fact that I'm going to succeed. You never know. What if the Kazanas find themselves opposite the ring of Mims and Pope? What if that happens in Philly, right? Don't tell me I'm being overconfident. Don't tell me I'm being cocky. I'm doing wishful thinking, but maybe it's wishful knowing. Maybe I know that me and Pope pass these tests. Pope is going to be facing Carnage at Center Stage. I'll beat Carnage myself. We are passing this test. Maybe at that point, we might become #1 contenders. We might see about how the championships look on our shoulders, how they look on our waist. I'm just saying. That could be destiny. At the last anniversary event, I was robbed, right? In New York, I was robbed. But the last time I was in Philly, what did I do? I succeeded. I passed another test they gave me, and I made for sure you guys saw a reign that was worth talking about. It will still be talked about for years to come. So why not go back to Philly with luck? Luck always serves me. Not that I need it. Big heart, strong mind, no need for luck. So when it comes to Philly, just expect greatness. Expect destiny to be had. Expect history to be made, because isn't it always? at those anniversary events? Do I disappoint in those anniversary events? Even when I was robbed of my NWA National Heavyweight Championship, I gave you one of the greatest matches in NWA history against Mike Mondo. I gave you an absolute classic. When I took this man through the ringer, he had to fight through me. I had to get hit with everything in the kitchen sink to put me down after a year. And you know what? I gave you something to be thankful for. I'm going to do it again. We're going to do it again. Me and Pope, we're going to do it again. We're going to do it for you, right? It's nothing but making headlines, making history, and making destiny come true. I already know what's going to happen. You just got to watch and find out. You're going to be there. That's the best. You're going to be there. You're going to see it happen in front of you. Okay. Just know, you feel like you have the inside track. I can't tell you the exact details, but you know you have the inside track. Everybody watching has the inside track of what's going to happen.
Well, post show, I'll buy you a daddy soda and we'll have a good time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know what? You've been on this podcast before. It's been a while, but every time you're on here, it's such a fun time with you on here. I don't doubt that there's nothing but success headed your way. I love the pairing of you and Pope. Big Pope fan, big Mims fan. Glad that you guys are on the same page. Interesting to see what's going to happen next in that tag team division. Of course, you know, the Crockett Cup just happened. The All Japan Tag Team Champions are now, you know, they have a shot down the road. I mean, they won the Crockett Cup. That's their right. The Kazanas are going to freaking Europe right now to defend those tag titles. Hopefully everything accumulates to perfection and we see a nice tag team bout at the 78th anniversary show. And hopefully at the end of that match, you and Elijah Burke be holding tag team gold. And, I'll be there to celebrate with you guys. I'm going to jump over the barrier, jump in with you guys. And just kidding. I'm not going to do that. Just kidding.
You'll be the one person allowed. And you know what? This is something that I thought of, right? Since we're talking about the gents going out and defending, they may not even be in Philly. They're having a little international, little rendezvous here. They're probably going to go over to Japan and say, hey, you guys won the Crockett Cup. You guys want another chance at this? We need to go ahead and squash that. And I wish them luck in that. That is an incredible tag team over there in All Japan Pro Wrestling. It's one of our homegrown talents in Talos. And then his partner, hey, they dominated their way through the to the entire Crockett Cup. So why not try to run it back and make for sure you can say without a shadow of a doubt, we should have won. We're champions now. We should have won. But is there another set of tag team gold? Maybe two slimy, scaly, stinky little boys who might need to give us another runaround for our money. We might need to run this back. We might need to go ahead and undo this fluke. There's a lot of flukes happening in the NWA, right? Why not go and correct that? Why not say, hey, Pope and Mims, you guys have had your time together to work out the kinks. You guys have had your time together to prove to yourselves, prove to the world that this was the right idea, that in 2022, they did make the right move by putting you guys together and letting you guys run roughshod, letting you guys run free. Here's your chance to prove it. Slime balls, what are they doing? The slime presidents of the Slime USA, what are they doing? Right? Yeah. Maybe somebody comes to their senses and puts Mims and Pope in the ring again with the slimiest, stankiest children in the NWA. We spank that ass. We slime them out, as the kids would say. And we go back, we clean off those titles, bleach them down real good, and we show you guys what U.S. Tag Team Champions really should look like. Right? That's a novel idea. Thank you, Mims, for coming up with that idea. I'm glad I thought of it. Thank you. Me. Fantastic.
Disinfect that belt, shine it up real nice. I mean, look, better representation of the United States. I can't think of a team better than Pope and Elijah Burke. And again, it all starts on June. Well, literally, it starts Saturday on Comet TV. That's the next step. June 6th at the Hard Times Signature Live event in Atlanta, Georgia at Center Stage.
Yes.
July 25th in Philadelphia at the 2300 Arena. all the steps will line up for the Pope and for Pope and Mims, and we're gonna see some good things happen for both of you guys.
Absolutely.
I really
bleach those belts. You know what? I might even get rid of those U.S. tag team belts. I love them. I love that design. They're super heavy. But you know what? We might go back to those fixers belts. You know, give you a little history there. At least they don't stink as bad. They haven't been held by the slot ball.
fair, but they were also held by Jay Bradley and Wrecking Ball Legursky. So I don't know. You know, that's a toss up.
Legursky wears deodorant, and so does Jay Bradley. That's the leaps and bounds.
You know a lot. I have never been in a locker room, so you know a lot more than I do, and that's fair. That's fair. Hey, I don't want to take up any more of your time. You have always been a great guest when you've been on here. Thank you so much. And again, please plug your social medias, plug where you're going to be next. I know you have a big match on the Indies against Tyson Maddox coming up really soon. Plug where you're going to be. Let the fans know how to follow you and where to find you.
All right. You can find me at anywhere under _Mims. That's usually me on almost everything. I think I'm something slightly different on TikTok. I just made a TikTok not too long ago. I'm an old man trying to figure it out. Outside of that, you can usually find me on Independence anywhere on the Georgia circuit. I am definitely at Deep South Wrestling pretty darn often. Like you said before, I do have a match coming up against Tyson Maddox. Gonna take him to task. This has been weeks to months of buildup. We just had a tag team match. Me, the champion of Deep South, Najasism, your Hoochie Daddy champion, and then Jacob Johnson, the former champion, on the same side with Tyson Maddox. That all came to a head. They're having their title match. I'm having my one-on-one with Tyson Maddox, and I'm not going to let him continue to think that this is how Deep South works. That this is how you just get to walk in. You just get to pick a match. You get to pick a person and victimize them. That's not how that happens with Big Strong Mims. Big Strong Mims isn't a victim. He's one who dominates. And we ain't going to change that dynamic. Absolutely not. And thank you for that Discord plug. I am that on Discord too. I just never use it.
And we'll stop on in. We talk wrestling all the time. I'm sure your phone blows up in the middle of the night when people from Indonesia are talking about their favorite all-Japan tag team.
Oh, man. But yes, there's much more coming when it comes to my independent dates. There are some international shows that we have not announced yet that are booked up for 2027, the end of 2026, and a lot more indie dates that I have yet to pass out and tell everybody, hey, this is going on. We will be in Texas. We will be in Florida. We will be in California. I will be in the Northeast. Like I said, a few different continents, but again, I have to be tight-lipped about that. Those things have not happened yet, but again, there's a lot of big things happening in the NWA and outside the NWA for the biggest and strongest man who ever did it. That's me.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us this week on the pre-party. Thank you so much for your time, and until next time, we'll see you guys at the matches.
Thanks for joining the stream. This has been a presentation of Alliance-Wrestling.com. We genuinely appreciate your support. Would you consider subscribing so you'll never miss a future episode? I'd also like to remind you we do a live stream every Tuesday at 5 p.m. before NWA Power. You can find us on social media at The Alliance Blog. And until next time, we are The Alliance.
Are The Alliance.